Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 of our class. We're at the back end on our last 3 modules. I wanted to start today's announcement just going over quickly a few of the answers from the exam. I'll go over them quickly, but what I do plan on doing is I will send out an email with a doodle poll to schedule a Zoom meeting where I will go over the exam in detail, and I will attempt, technology permitting, to record that Zoom meeting if I can and post it for those of you who aren't able to attend. For the most part, people did extremely well on the exam. You did really, really well on the short answers. Some of the multiple choice questions, the most common to have gotten wrong were question 4, which is, in most states, when a teacher initially experiences a child who is experiencing learning or behavior difficulties, that it's not already receiving special ed, the first step recommended or mandated is, and the correct answer for that is developing and implementing an intervention. In many states, it's referred to as response to intervention. In Connecticut, it's referred to SRBI, scientifically research-based instruction. And what that tells us is that we're supposed to have a tiered intervention set, tiered interventions through general education. It's not considered the pathway to special ed, but if a child is struggling and everyone's getting that good tier 1 instruction, so that's the good, everyone's entitled to that good basic instruction. If they're having difficulty, then they should be given some more individualized, maybe small group instruction. And then there's the third tier, tier 3 instruction, which could be pull-out or specialized instruction through general ed. So when a child is experiencing difficulties, the first place shouldn't be jumped to having the child evaluated for special ed eligibility. That being said, there are times where there really is a question of a disability, and the RTI, or the general ed interventions, may not be necessary because the teacher really is truly suspecting a disability, and it's not a child that's having just difficulty in the classroom. So just keep in mind that there is sort of an obligation for that good basic general ed instruction in that tiered interventions through general ed. Then if a child is not responding to the intervention, then it may be something to consider as far as a referral to special ed. LRE, there was a question, it was number 5, the LRE for any given student receiving special education services really can change over time. And IDEA tells us that the placement that is closest to the regular education setting while meeting the child's special ed needs is what they should be getting. So remember that the first placement that needs to be considered for LRE is general or regular ed. I call it general ed because the word regular to me makes it seem like something else is irregular, but that general ed setting with appropriate supports and services is also supposed to be the first consideration for any student. And the last one I'm going to go over is question 9, section 504. Many of you answered that it was federally funded or that it was all of the above, but something really important to remember about section 504. Section 504 is not special ed. It does not receive federal funding, but it does provide accommodations to students in general ed. Remember that section 504 is a civil rights law, that it is section 504 of the Rehab Act that gives accommodations to people in any program receiving any federal funding. So in schools, it would be accommodations to students in general education. So that's just a really quick overview of the questions that I think were the most common ones to get wrong. Again, keep your eyes out for a doodle poll. I'll try to get that out later today or tomorrow, and then we'll set up sometime, I'm guessing like right after dinner time, where we can do a live session and I can go through the whole exam and you can ask me specific questions if you would like about any of the questions. I would be happy to do that. And again, technology permitting, I will record that session and post it. I will do my best, but I have been having a few little technology issues. And just to start with regard to the discussion this week, I just want to apologize to all of you that I didn't participate as much as I usually do because I, like many of you, had no power for a little while this week. and it was really hard to post with everybody to my phone because I'm not a real good texter. So I did appreciate all the conversations we had this week, and so thank you very much. And I feel bad that any of us had to go without power this week, but I guess that's just how things are now. So this week, you will be asked to read Chapter 9 about individuals with emotional and behavioral disorders and Chapter 10 about autism spectrum disorders. There are a few videos for you to watch. And as far as your assignments for this week, sorry, my dog walked by and I got some hair. Your first prompt, so our graded discussion this week is going to be about autism spectrum disorder. And you're going to respond to the quote, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. So I'll be interested to know what that means to you. Feel free to use the technology I'm using to speak with you right now, Screencast-O-Matic, record a video post, and I then post that to YouTube, or you can do it right to YouTube. I would love to see some video posts on this one. Not required, just encouraged. And our other assignment this week is going to be discussing the importance of classroom environment in order to address behavior proactively. So what does the environment need to look like to avoid behaviors rather than manage behaviors? And so you're going to be thinking about that and thinking about some strategies. You can do a paper or use Prezi, Google Slides, PowerPoint. If there's a technology that's not listed that you want to try for a presentation, just throw me an email and I would be happy to take a look to see if the technology will work for the assignment. That would be fine. Remember, if you do a presentation, it does need to be narrated. I'm looking forward to having our discussion this week and to reading your papers. And I also look forward to seeing many of you with the live session to go over our exam. And then week 5, we will have another exam. So just to give you a fair warning, but you all did very, very well. I was very impressed with how everybody did on the exam. For the most part, the scores were very high. You guys did a great job. Looking forward to seeing some of you later this week. Have a great rest of the day.